Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. The C's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here.
This morning, you doing all right? Everybody good? Everybody good? Okay, we're all here. I need to bring up Randy Antrican to join me on the stage here. Randy Antrican, he's the owner of PMH OKC. Sean, if you can pull it up on the big screen. And if you're helping us produce today's show, if you can pull up his website on the screen so everybody watching online can see it. That's PMH OKC. Then we have Sean McGow. Where's Sean McGow? Where's Sean? He's from San Diego. Randy's from Oklahoma City. His company's called Perfect My Home OKC. That's PMH OKC. We got Sean McGow. He's from sunny San Diego. Sunny San Diego. Let's hear for Sean. He's sort of a big deal. People know him. There he is. Okay, let's hear for Randy from Oklahoma City, by the way. It's Randy. Hey, good to see you.
Thank you.
You all right? All right.
Yeah.
Sean, you doing good? Good to see you. Welcome. Grab a mic. It's like the Wu-Tang Clan. There'll be 75 mics, 18 people. It'll be fine. Okay. Karime. Where's Karime? Where's Karime? Karime, come on up here. Karime Schofield and Sophia. Was Sophia here? Do we lose? Sophia, come on up here. Sophia was born yesterday, and her mother have started their business there, and we met them, I want to say, about a year ago-ish at one of our workshops. So welcome. I'll have you guys on that mic right there. And then we're going to bring up Josh Spurl from Canada. He's from Canada. He's a huge Trudeau fan. He loves Katy Perry. He loves the whole deal. He loves it. He loves the match that was made there. That's Spurl. He's from Canada. So what we're doing here is who has this orange workbook here? Who has the orange workbook? Okay. So we're going to open up the workbook, if we can, here to page number 5. Page number 5. And then page number 4. And you can wave it at me. On page number 4, there is a pyramid, but this conference is not a pyramid scheme. But it starts with a pyramid. And so I want you to do, as we're doing this workshop together, we're going to do a 30-minute sprint, and then we'll do a 15-minute Q&A. So 30 minutes of teaching, and then 15 minutes of Q&A, and we'll keep that flow going for 2 consecutive days. At a certain point, Eric Trump will show up, and you'll get more excited. Then he'll leave, but we'll keep going, 30-minute sprints, 15-minute breaks. That's what we're going to do. And we want to make sure we get through this entire book, which is how to start and grow a super successful company. And why I'm bringing up different business owners is because the systems and principles can be applied to accounting in Canada. They can be applied to pest control in San Diego. They can be applied to building homes or building, in this case, Randy, what's all the stuff that you build at pmhokc.com?
Yeah, so outdoor living stuff. Pools is our main product, and everything is designed around that. So like pergolas, outdoor kitchens, hot tubs, swim spas, things like that.
And Karime, can you tell everybody what is your service, or what do you guys do?
We are Whistle While You Clean, a residential and commercial cleaning business.
And where are you guys based?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio. And Sophia, what kind of cleaning services do you provide? If you had to add some extra clarity there, what kind of services do you provide?
All the basic cleaning services. We tidy up. We clean houses. I mean, it's pretty.
Okay, that's fair. And then Sean, you kill bugs. Do you have a hatred for bugs, or what all do you do there?
Spiders and snakes.
Okay, what all do you kill?
We do wildlife, we do termites, we do termite tinning, general pests, wood repairs, and we cover San Diego, Orange County here, Anaheim. We have an office in Irvine, and we do Palm Springs area and Riverside.
And Josh, accounting, bookkeeping, tell us about the services that you guys provide.
I mean, mostly we try to keep your money out of the hands of the communists, basically, is the goal. But, yeah. So we do everything from, at alwaysbookkeeping.com, we do everything from just basic bookkeeping and tax and payroll to our CFO brand where we do, full CFO services and wealth planning offshore.
And we're going to reference probably 25 case studies, but basically, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm a very pale male, and I grew up without money. Some of us could debate who was more poor, but I knew my dad was working at Domino's Pizza, delivering pizzas, and working at Quick Trip gas stations, not because he was excited about it, but he wanted to provide for us, and he felt like that was his duty, and I appreciate him for doing that. But I didn't know how to achieve financial success. And once I figured it out, I thought, well, what if I could teach it at scale? And that's what I do. So for the past 20 years, that's what I do. So if you open your book to page number 5, we want to go over the goals, okay? So this is page number 5, these are the systems to achieve your goals. But page number 4, that is your goals. So page number 4, that's your goals. And you probably don't want to cheat off the person next to you because these are your goals. But I want you to take out a marker or a pen or some kind of writing device, something that will create a neural pathway when you engage with it. That's what a pen does, okay? The pen is for remembering, right? The mind is for thinking. So if you can write down here on page number 4, what are your goals for your faith? And you want to write in the right column, when will that happen? Because what gets scheduled gets done, right, on page number 4? So what gets scheduled gets done. What doesn't get scheduled won't get done. So for those of you who are here, I appreciate you being here. Some people will be here mentally and physically during these 2 days. Some people will be here mentally. Some people will be here physically. But we want to all be here mentally and physically. And we have to schedule time for getting these things done. So I'm going to go to Randy first here. So faith goals. Randy, I'm not asking you to share all your personal goals, but do you and your wife, what are your thoughts on Jesus or church? Or how does that fit into your life?
Yeah, we are Christians. We've been Christians our whole life, and we have 3 amazing kids, and we teach them to walk with Jesus every day. 3 of our core values for our family is be the example, a heart of giving, and walk with Jesus. So everything we do revolves around what God would want.
So page 4, I want you to write down somewhere on page 4, when are you going to invest time in your faith? Because what gets scheduled gets done. So if we say, well, I'll get to it, it's not going to happen. And I'm not trying, this isn't a super woo-woo theoretical conference, but the purpose of growing a business is so you can achieve your goals for the areas of your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. At one of our conferences, this will be in Tulsa, about a year and a half ago, I met a guy who's a billionaire, who's been divorced 3 times. And if you've been divorced 3 times, I'm not attacking you, but that's probably not a pattern we want to keep doing. But he was very miserable, very alone, very frustrated, but very wealthy. And that's not the purpose. So we want to make sure, but you can also be wealthy and have a great faith and family. And so I want to make sure we keep that in mind. The next area is family goals. So Karime, you and your daughter actually work together. Could you tell everybody the story of kind of how you two decided to start the business together?
So I came to one of Clay's business conferences maybe a year ago, and James caught me walking around aimlessly, and he said, do you have any business ideas? And I was like, yeah, I've got like 12. And I said, but my daughter wants to start a cleaning business. And he said, why don't you guys go all in on that and then use that to fund the other ideas? And so here we are 8 months later, very successful and onboarding our first employee because of Clay's team.
Now, Sophia, tell everybody, what's your role with the business that you and your mom do together?
I do the cleaning and some of the business.
And how old are you?
I'm 15.
And when did you decide when did you and your mom decide to start your own business? When did that happen?
What month was it? March.
Were you at the conference? Were you on your way home? Were you before the conference? When did you decide that it was going to happen?
I think I was on my way to the conference. I was like, we're going to a business conference. Let me think of a business I want to start.
Seems practical. But what happens is, a lot of times people will come to conferences, they'll listen to talk shows, radio talk shows, gurus, and then they don't apply anything, okay? So I want you to write down somewhere on page number 4, PhD. It requires a PhD to be successful, pig-headed discipline, all right? So you have to actually do it. It can't be just acquiring knowledge, right? Knowledge without application is meaningless, Thomas Edison, right? Knowledge without application is meaningless, Thomas Edison. If you don't like Thomas Edison, open the book of James. It's about doing, not just hearing. If you don't like that, do Proverbs. Proverbs, 10:4. God blesses the hand of the diligent, punishes the slackard. If you don't like that, I can't help you. But there's more Tony Robbins conferences you could go to, and you keep learning and learning and learning. But I'm all about, this isn't about education, this is about compensation. This entire purpose of this workshop is to help you increase your compensation. Although there are great workshops that focus on education, this is not one of them. This is about compensation, how you can make more so you can make more, sow more into ministry, maybe, I don't know, take your wife out for avocado guacamole more, maybe eat more organic, try to avoid less of the avoid more of that bioengineered ice cream jackassery. Just the idea is that I'm trying to help you make more money, okay? So we move here. The next area is friendship goals. Josh, with your bookkeeping service, again, you've probably seen this, but people become the average of the 5 people they spend the most time with. You've seen it. Proverbs talks about how for a companion of fools shall suffer harm. We know this, right? For a companion of fools shall suffer harm. We become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. However, a lot of times, at least for me, growing up without money, I was around a lot of people that had pro tips on how to stay poor. Right? And then they want to give you those tips, right? So it's always like, hey man, there's this no money down, real estate, get rich quick, overnight move. You should get started on it. Ground floor, I'm going in, you're going in, let's do it. Next thing you know, we're auto shipping soap and we're staying poor, right? So I'm just trying to make sure that we're not getting confused and discombobulated. We want to listen to people that have actually done it. And so I'm trying to lend you some of my friends during this weekend so you can hear from people that are achieving success. And then when we take a break, you can ask them questions. And in my opinion, some of their advice is maybe more relevant than mine because they're doing it at different phases, So with Karime and her daughter, they're more of at the startup phase. They're past the startup phase. Now they're into that, wow, our business is actually profitable phase. Whereas with Josh, his business is thriving, it's moving, it's booming. I want to get your thoughts on this though. The average in America today, and I know it's different in Canada, I'm sure, but Sean, pull it up on the screen. According to US Debt Clock right now, US Debt Clock, this is a great website to go to if you want to get depressed in the morning. You want to pull this up before 8 a.m. every morning and look at it, and there it is. Okay, so here we go. So there's just 9 million self-employed people. In that middle column, you see it? There's 9 million self-employed people left in America out of 342 million Americans that we know about. So there's 342 million Americans that we know about, and we're down to 9 million. So for anybody who's great at math, if it was 10%, that'd be 34 million entrepreneurs, right? But it's not 10%. So we're down to like 2.5% of our population is even attempting to be self-employed. And then Sean, pull it up on the screen. According to Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses fail. So somebody who's good at math, anybody here good at math? You like math? Anybody excited about math? Okay. So if you said 2.5% of the population is self-employed and 96% of those fail, what is the statistical probability of being successful by default in America today? I'm not painting you in the corner, but why is it that 96% of American businesses fail, Josh, when only 2.5% of entrepreneurs, 2.5% of our population even tries to become self-employed? Why is that?
I mean, like 2/3 of the population wants to be an entrepreneur someday. So in their heads they are, but you're right. Like it's 3% of the population actually is self-employed. And I think a lot of people who get into it, they get into it for the wrong reasons. They get into it because they think it's going to be this ultimate time hack where they can start working 4 hours a week as soon as they start a business. And that's just not the way it is. Like statistically, we can even identify how many hours a week they'd have to work to have a higher probability of success.
So we're going to write this down on page 4. We're going back to page 4. Faith goals. I'm asking you to write in the column off to the right. When are you going to practice your faith? And please participate mentally and physically. Just write that thing. Just if you don't have a piece of paper, if you don't have, we got the book. If you don't have a pen, maybe use a ketchup packet. Just, I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Maybe take the guy next to his pen. I think I gave you a Sharpie and a pen. If you don't like the Sharpie or the pen, you can sniff the Sharpie while coming up with your own creative device for writing. Just find a way to write it down, okay? And then your family goals. You got to spend time with your family. And I've got 5 great kids. How many people have kids? How many people were a kid? You get busy though, right? Randy, you look up and you go, by the way, Randy's son is now his clone. When I started working with Randy, we've had an opportunity to work together for years, and I think your business is about 8 times larger now. But I think his kid was like this tall, and now is he taller than you?
He is. He's a couple inches taller now.
It's all that genetically modified crap Randy's feeding his kid. That's why he's taller. He's on the hormones. He's on the steroids. He's on the sauce. No, but if you look up one day and your kids are big, and now that your business is big and your kids are big, where does the priority of family fit in now differently than maybe when you were starting and you didn't have kids or they were small kids?
Well, I think one of the biggest blessings to owning your own business is you get to work with your family. We have a family-run business. My son works in the business, and so I get to see him every day, which is like a huge thing for me. He's actually working in the business full-time now. He graduated high school. I work with my wife. She does all the accounting and everything. And you've said it before, like everybody has their own lane and everyone's just going the same direction. But working with my family has been a huge thing.
Faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship. Think about it. Really think about it, because we can make more money, but we can't make more time. Right? I mean, some of you are going, well, actually, once they open a portal to another dimension, we'll be time traveling. And if you read the book about Baron Trump, I think time traveling is possible. I watch Back to the Future every Friday. Great. But that's not this conference. Okay. So, faith goals. You got to schedule it, okay? Family goals, right? Okay. Friendship goals. Fitness. Now, fitness, okay? Now, again, I'm just being real. There's somebody here and fitness is your priority and amen. And then finances are not. Uh-oh. Or somebody here, finances are your priority. Yes. And then fitness is not, right? None of us are perfect. We all have different areas but what gets scheduled gets done. By default, it will not get done if we don't schedule it. So any of these areas. So I'm asking you, faith, family, okay, friendship, fitness, finance. Now the finance, we'll talk almost the entire weekend. We're going to talk about finance goals. But I need you to write down somewhere on the column here, how many hours per week are you willing to work, as Josh said? And you really need to think about it. I'm going to get a little bit deep on this for a second, because you really need to think about it. You got to write a number down. I want you to write it down, but let me try to sell you on the idea. Okay. How many of you have ever read this thing called the Bible? Okay. So there's a book called Genesis. Are we aware of that? Okay, it's the beginning, right? And then God created the earth in how many days? 6. Okay. And then he rested on the 7th. Okay, awesome. We're doing well. Okay. So then there's a book called Exodus, and God talks about working 6 days and rest on the 7th. Are we familiar with this idea, the book of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus? Are we into this idea? So God sets out the pattern. You work 6 days and you rest on the 7th. Are we on the same page? Now, there's a guy named Klaus Schwab. You like Klaus Schwab? Anybody here a big Klaus Schwab fan? You like it? Klaus Schwab, he is, he's the guy. The difference of the fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't... Who doesn't know who Klaus Schwab is? Oh, Sean, will you pull him up on the screen? Just look up Klaus Schwab. You'll see. The difference of the fourth industrial revolution. He talks like he's running out of RAM. Is that it doesn't so much change what you're doing as much as it changes you if you take the genetic editing. Okay, that guy, Klaus Schwab, he's trying to introduce the 4-day work week. That's Klaus Schwab. Are we on the same page? Okay, so we had a 6-day work week. Who is familiar with the story of the Pilgrims? We're familiar with the story? The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Marina, the Pilgrim. We familiar with these people? Okay, so they came over here in boats. That's the story. None of those homeboys were working a 4-day work week, right? They'd be 100% dead if they were working 4 days a week. How many of you ever grew up on a farm or are familiar with the concept of farms? Okay, awesome. You don't just work 4 days a week on the farm. So in 1938, you should write this down, fight with me intellectually. Do not believe anything I'm saying. If we were adjusting the seating properly, I would be seated underneath you because I'm the not important person and you would be up higher, but just something happened wrong with the stage. I should be lower than you. You should be looking down on me. But all I'm saying is that in 1938, okay, a socialist by the name of FDR and his lesbian wife rolled out the 40-hour work week. I don't know about you, but I love taking advice from socialists with a lesbian wife. To me, that's exciting. I say, I'm going to write that down. Let me do that. So, and for the entirety of history, there was the 6-day work week concept, and then it changed in 1938 to 40 hours. And now, And now have you met people? Anybody met people now? Everyone's like, I feel like I'm gonna have burnout. Do you have burnout? I've never had burnout. I wake up at 3, I work till 6, and if I get pissed, I work more. That's what I do. My cure for burnout is working more. You know, people, I have burnout though. Do you ever have anxiety? No. You know, but there's a culture now. Randy, have you ever heard employees talk to you about burnout today? Have anyone ever brought that up to you ever? You hear about this, burnout?
Yeah. There's a lot of burnout in construction. And now there's this new day called, what is it, like a mental health day?
That's what I'm having today. I'm having a mental health day today. That's why I'm getting a little crazy.
I mean, it's almost everybody, really. At some point, it comes up in everyone's employment.
It's great. Sophia, how many hours a week are you and your mom working with your business now? Are you working like 7 hours a week, taking time off to find yourself?
No, I'd say about like 70 hours a week.
70? Oh, that's not ethical. You're sick. You must have read Genesis and Leviticus and Exodus. What? Crazy. Okay. When you work with entrepreneurs, how often do you find entrepreneurs are not working enough? How often do you see that? They're just not putting in the work. You see this often?
Yeah, because we can tie it directly to their financials.
You're sick.
So, when we look in and we see their financials, when we see problems with the financials, then we start asking, like, how many hours? Or show me your calendar is my favorite one.
And you don't have to work 80 hours a week to get along with me or for me to get along with you. I'm just saying is you got to be able to put the work in to get it going. And then once it gets going, you can reduce the hours. Are we on the same page? Okay, Sean, you're growing your business. When you were starting your business, were you working like 4 days a week, running around talking about life balance? Or tell me how you got started.
Yeah, no, it was actually, it's been a 6-day work week. I never really put a time on it. We just, we believe we're people of faith. We believe God orders our steps, and the 7th day we refuse to work, and we believe he makes that up on the other 6 days that we put in all the effort and work.
And as your business gets big, you earn time freedom. Does that make sense? You earn time freedom. And something I should encourage you to write down on page number 4, this is something I think that would be helpful mindset to have, is inspiration is the reward. I say this all the time, but inspiration is the reward. Inspiration is the reward, okay? Inaction, so not doing something. Inaction is the giant. Action is the sword. I'll try that again. Okay, inspiration is the reward. That's the reward you get is inspiration. But inaction, not doing anything. Inaction is the giant. And action is the sword. And I see a lot of people looking for motivation, and I would just want to cure you today of this desire to find motivation and call just shut up and do the work. And then when you have success, you'll find that you're inspired on the other end of the results. Does that make sense to you? Okay? And so my path to starting a successful company, I worked at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. That was my pro tip for getting rich quick. I worked at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV, and I saved all that money to build a company called DJConnection.com, which I haven't owned in years. But I'm just telling you, if you're here today, these are very important things to look at before we get into the practical stuff. Now, also on page 4, you want to block out goals for fun stuff. Randy, you want to tell us about things you and your family do for fun when you're not here at this, when you're not working, building pergolas, hot tubs, that kind of thing?
We usually schedule a vacation, a little miniature vacation about every 3 months. So we always have something to kind of look forward to. We do date night every Friday, and then on the weekend, same thing with you. We take off Sunday, and that's when we spend all of our time together.
So faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. And somewhere on page 4, I need you to write down how much money do you need to earn per year to achieve your goals. And so, how many of you have ever bought gas in this state? That's fun. What is it, like $4.78 a gallon today or something? $4.68? I don't know. I kind of went into like a blackout moment there. I found myself needing a mental day after I pumped gas this morning. But wow, okay. But it costs money to live here. And then you got property tax, and then your governor is such a good steward of all the money. They're building the little train. They're just getting going on that. Hopefully they'll finish it soon. He's doing a great job, just phenomenal. They got to clean up all the homelessness, and we got to also provide health care for all the illegals. And so you got to work at least, 50% of your week for Newsom? I mean, isn't that what you do, like Monday through Wednesday? Is that Newsom time? Did anybody here wear shirts going, Newsom? Yes, I mean, because that's what it is. Am I right? We're working half the week for Newsom. I mean, he's an awesome guy. Great steward of the money. I love the guy. He did a great job during COVID. Just shut us down, locked us down. Thank you, Newsom. He's just a great guy. He balances the budget. What a genius. Okay, but we're working on half the week for Newsom. Is that accurate? Are we on the same page? It doesn't matter. How many of you have ever voted in a presidential election? Republicans or Democrats? Go back to the U.S. debt clock, okay? You're going to have to keep working half your week for the government. They do a great job managing your budgets, Democrats and Republicans. They do a phenomenal job. They just got to, if you work, okay? So I'm telling you all this because you got to write down the number because the math is the part that's painful when you go, man, to live here or to live wherever, it's going to cost me this much money per year, okay? This is all on page 4. Somewhere on page 4, I also want you to write down, what are you going to sell in exchange for the financial rewards you seek? Or maybe another way to look at it is what are the problems that you're going to solve in exchange for the compensation that you seek? So, Sean, again, your company there is suncoastpestmanagement.com. What are the solutions that you guys provide?
We do wildlife, termite, pest control, general pests from spiders, ants, earwigs, silverfish, things like that, fleas, bees, bedbugs. Really, we're just a one-stop shop. If it's a pest besides a spouse, maybe we don't do that. We get that call, believe me.
Mental health day. Okay, so what I want to make sure we're getting this idea, and I want you to these are all things to just jot down somewhere on page 5, just somewhere on page 5. You don't have to be passionate about the product or service you provide. You need to be passionate about the life you've been given, right? So every day we have from God is a gift, and what we do with it is a gift to God. But I see so many entrepreneurs, like in my case, I write a lot of music. I also do a lot of artwork, and I'm big into silky chickens. Have you guys seen a silky chicken? Have you looked at one? Pull it up on the screen, Sean. Silky chickens are kind of a fur ball, kind of a Fraggle character meets a chicken. They have the behavior of like a nice puppy, but they're a chicken, and they lay very small eggs. You would die if you survived off of silky eggs. I like silky chickens. I like goats. I like dogs. I like taking my wife on dates. These are all things that don't make me money. I like watching obscure podcasts about songwriting. That's what I get into. But that's not going to be a profit center. Are we on the same page? So somebody here, you're trying to turn your passion into a profit, and it's not going to happen because nobody cares about your knowledge of everything they talk about on Jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a passion for decorative tchotchkes and you want to sell them, but nobody wants to buy them. That's not a business, all right? A business solves a problem in exchange for a profit. So somewhere here on page number 5 or 4, I just want you to write down the equation for business, okay? For business. Step number 1, you find a problem. Everybody got that? And there's a lot of problems, by the way. It's incredible. Find a problem. Step number 2, you solve the problem. Step number 2. All right? Step number 3, you have to sell the solution. And then step number 4, you have to nail it and scale it. Let's repeat. Because they don't cover this in college. Who's ever been to business college? They skip the whole sales part and the whole The whole search engine optimization part, all these people running around graduating from business college with a degree in diversity, equity, inclusion, life balance, burnout, mission statements. Who cares? You got to sell something. I'm glad at least one person enjoys this. Okay, so for 4 steps. 1, find a problem. Okay. Step 2, you got to solve it. Step 3, you got to sell the solution. Step 4, you got to nail it and scale it. Okay, so let's go to Sophia. Sophia, what are some of the problems that you solve?
People don't want to clean, so we do what they don't want to do, and we clean for them.
There it is. This just in, 15-year-old gets entrepreneurship. Okay, awesome. So, Randy, what are the problems that you solve there at pmhokc.com?
Well, our main goal is to bring families together in the backyard, but within that, there's shade issues. People don't have shade. They don't have level surfaces. People want a pool to cool off or whatever, but our overall mission statement is to create backyard memories for families.
So the problems are solving. I mean, Sean, will you click on some of their on the gallery there? Hot tubs, pergolas, and again, Randy's business has grown dramatically. You know, when I met Randy already knew how to do pergolas and hot tubs. He'd already built $1 million company, and it was like, how do I scale that thing? And now it's dramatically large. Look at this. This is great stuff here. So problems. Okay, you find a problem, solve it. And then you got find the problem, you gotta solve, you gotta sell. That word is dirty, and it's a 4-letter word. Sell. So many people are like, sales. Sales, I don't know about that. Selling, I feel dirty. When I sell something, I feel like, I've heard about that. I've read about that. You know what I mean? It's almost been demonized, sales. How many of you like sales? You just like to sell something? You guys are sick. I mean, people almost feel bad for selling something, okay? So you sell. I want to get your thoughts on this. Josh, how often do you see people? Again, you're an international bookkeeper. You help small business owners manage their books in Canada and America. How often do you find someone who has a great product, great service, auto-wrapped vehicles, but they're not selling anything?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Like they don't know how much they need to sell to fund the lifestyle that they want. They don't understand the margins that they actually make every time they do sell something. They don't understand how much of that they get to keep and how much their overhead's going to be every month and what they're actually going to take home.
Got to sell something. So I'm going to walk you through my career in like 90 seconds so you can see proof of concept, and that way you go, I don't like him. He talks a little too fast, a little bit pale, not sure what we're dealing with. Maybe Pastor Phil made a poor choice for bringing him in today, but we heard Eric's coming, so we'll put up with him. But let me just show you my career real quick. So the first business was called DJConnection.com. DJConnection.com. I built it, sold it. We used to do 4,000 weddings a year. We used to do 4,000 weddings a year, which is 80 weddings per weekend. As significant or insignificant as that is. Some of you are like, I do 8,000 weddings every day. Okay, fine. But we did 4,000 a year. That's what we did, okay? And then but before that, Sean, pull up Applebee's. Go to their website. I worked at Applebee's, and I was probably the worst waiter of all time because I have no short-term memory and I'm bad with names. So I come back and I'm like, you got your chicken wings and your salad. They're going, no, that was that guy over there. You know how I know? Because I heard him say it, and that's him. That's his order. Okay, my bad. And so now I'm like the guy, I'm like a scribe, I'm writing, it's like cuneiform, I'm a very detailed writer. When I write in all caps, very slow. So now I'm like, you would like a chicken Caesar, C-H. And they're like, just remember the order. I can't do it. So I worked at Applebee's, it was a struggle, I did it. I also worked at Target. Anybody here worked at Target? That was a great place, fabulous place, Target. I worked in the electronics section where people like bring their deodorant and they leave it. They're like, I can't commit to the purchase. I'll leave the deodorant here. People get like, they say, I'm going to get a big Tupperware. I'm going to get the Tupperware. I think not. I think I'll leave that and the toothpaste here. And so my job was to bring items back to the right part of the store and to check people out and to catch people trying to steal a Michael Bolton Greatest Hits album. You remember when the CDs were big and if you wanted to buy a CD, it was attached to a plastic apparatus? Who remembers that? To keep you from stealing it, and some guy's trying to play it off like, no, I brought my own CD in a plastic apparatus, and so my job was to stop stealing and replace things, and I worked at Target, and I found out at Target, this is when I was a jackass, that you could do the all-com. Who knows the all-com? You hit the all-page, boop, boop, boop. I watched my manager type it every day, and I thought, one day I will learn that number, and I will hit the number when he's not watching, and I will make an announcement. So I'm watching, boop, 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 writing it down. Ladies and gentlemen, I duck behind the counter. Ladies and gentlemen, attention Target shoppers. We have a very hazardous chemical leak on aisle 2 and 8. Please exit the building. And I would just watch. And I was an idiot. I'm 18. I'm like, this is hilarious. Hilarious. This is funny. Jackass. Or who's ever employed people like an 18-year-old me? I used to announce, ladies and gentlemen, we have a car with a four-wheel vehicle that's been in a very dangerous accident. If you have a four-wheel vehicle, your car may have been hit, please report to the front of the building. And people are, that could be me. So I worked at Applebee's, Target. I apologize to Target, and then DirecTV. Okay, DirecTV. My job was DirecTV was the customer service. Who's ever called DirecTV with a customer service issue? My job was to go, okay, what's your number? What's your name? Okay, what's your middle name? What's your account number? Where are you from? Okay, now, have you plugged it in? And they go, no, I'm serious, like, have you plugged it? Listen, buddy, I've plugged it in. Who do you think you're talking to? Sir, I just want to ask you if you just plug it in. Just tap-a-roo, tap-a-roo. Just plug it in. Young man, I think I needed to plug it in. Thank you. Okay, issues solved. I was like a tier 1 support guy. Seriously, who's ever done tier 1 customer support? My job was to answer that question all day. Sir, is your TV on? Is it on? I'm serious. You ever like lost your glasses, but you're wearing them? That's me in the morning. That's the kind I'm like, where are my glasses? They're on my face. Anyway, so Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. Okay, so I built DJConnection.com. Then I discovered brides needed photography, so I built epicphotos.com. Okay, and that was a very large, successful photography company. Sold that. Then I built a company called Party Perfect. Who's ever rented tables, chairs, dance floors, margarita machines? Pre-Christ, by the way, pre-Christ in my life. Margarita machines. Rented a lot of those. Need to repent a lot. But so dance floors, margarita machines, like tables, linens, uplights. I did that. Okay. Then I built the Tulsa Wedding Show. Who's ever been to a wedding show? Never been to a wedding show? Okay, bridal show, bridal exhibit. So I built that. Okay, so that's kind of what I did phase one. So age like 14 through 24-ish, that's what I was doing. And then from there, I started doing commercial real estate and dentistry and working with some law firms and started a haircut chain and a carpet cleaning business and a dog training brand. And I will put them on the screen so you can verify they're real things. I've helped OxyFresh, OXIFresh.com grow from a location to 500 locations. So a location to 500 locations, that's OxyFresh, 500 locations. Then there is Elephant in the Room. We have 4 locations. We cut hair. I'm really into hair. Just kidding. Not into hair. But I'm telling you these things because they're all just, you find a problem and you solve it. Are we on the same page? So how often, Mr. Sperl, Mr. Accounting, do you see people that are passionate about something, but it cannot mathematically make financial profit? It cannot. They're passionate. They love it. They're excited, but it just the business model, it cannot be profitable.
Yeah, we see them when they come in for their initial meetings and they just have a bad idea. They're really passionate about it, but we know there's no probability of success, or the probability of success is very long and they're going to run out of money before they get there.
Are you saying there's bad ideas?
Yes.
Now that's tough because how many of you been related to someone with a very bad idea? They're very excited about it. And you're going, that's a great idea, Carl. Uncle Carl, that's a great idea. Uncle Eddie, you should do that. Cousin Eddie, go with, because people don't want to tell you at dinner during Thanksgiving, like, wow, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. You'll probably drive your family into poverty. You'll probably end up driving an Uber and driving your family into poverty. You're probably going to lose all your friends and family and your passion for doing this. People won't tell you. They won't. But they will tell you if your gas tank is open. Have you noticed that? You ever just driven around with your gas tank open just to see what happens? People, they pull over. Sir, you ever seen that? Another fun one is drive with your seatbelt hanging out the front door. I like that one. That's a fun one. You just open the front door, you put the seatbelt out, drive around like you don't see it. People, sir. People freak out about that. But if you're going the wrong direction with your life, no one says anything. Wild. So this conference is sort of like, if you're going the wrong direction, this is the conference where we go, hey, time out, check up from the neck up. Let's have that conversation. Are we going the right way? Are we not? Okay. Sean, have you ever thought to yourself, if we keep doing this, because we've worked with you for what, a year now? A year?
6 months.
6 months, okay. It feels like a year that he's been stuck with us. But have you grown at all? Are you growing?
We've seen since we started in 6 months. So let me just back up. We had a falling out at the beginning of this year.
We did? You and me?
We did. Our company had a falling out. We lost some members of our team that went on to start their own business. It took 17% of our business away from us. So when we joined, I had a friend of mine come to this event and it invited me. I was real skeptical about wanting to join something else. I've had many people tell me many things about, oh yeah, this works, do try this. I knew from the event the first time I went 6 months ago, I had to be part of this and join it. But I also, if we were gonna fail, it wasn't gonna be because of what I did, because I went in there and made sure that we followed every step. So if it was gonna be a fail, it was gonna be because Clay and the Thrivetime failed, not because Sean failed. But we did every single thing that they asked us to do. And we've brought back, right now, we've had 50% increase. Well, actually, we've doubled our leads and we've had a 50% increase in our sales. And we've made up on the year. We're only down 5% now. We've made up 12% on what we lost from the year in just this last few months. So it's been a really, really solid increase in growth.
So if we look, let's hear it for him. You're doing great. You're doing great. This guy hates bugs. He loves people, hates bugs. Loves people, hates bugs.
Hates
okay.
bugs.
Klaus Schwab hates people, loves bugs. Who does not know who Klaus Schwab is? Who doesn't know? Show of hands. Someone tell me. Okay, I'm gonna make you watch this real quick. I want you to be in on the joke. I don't want you to go, this guy thinks he's so funny joking about Klaus Schwab. But I want you to know it. So go to Rumble real quick, rumble.com. That's the only place that I'm allowed to be, rumble.com. And on Rumble, I'm always capped at 265,000 subscribers. How many of you have seen my Rumble for the past 4 years? You've seen I'm always stuck at 265. It's because Peter Thiel is the one funding Put a Chip in Your Head, and I talk about him too, so he's also funding Rumble. So on Rumble, it's like my little corner of the universe where I get to say whatever to 6 or 7 people that get to hear it. Okay, so if you go and type in Klaus Schwab and then Thrivetime, but get rid of the E, Sean. You gotta get rid of that E. Okay, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, Sean, you're doing it good. Hit enter. Sean, you're doing great. Hit that enter. Smack that thing. Okay, scroll down. Keep scrolling down here. Okay, keep going down. Now, Sean, what I want you to do is I want you, while we're talking about whatever, look for Fourth Industrial Revolution and Klaus Schwab, and you'll find it. When you find it, you can come back and tell us. But Klaus Schwab, that's the guy who he literally wants people to eat bugs. Who knows this? And he hates people. He wants to reduce the population. So when I joke about Klaus Schwab hating people and wanting you to eat bugs, that's a really sincere statement. He hates people, loves bugs. This guy loves the people, hates the bugs. This is like an anti-Klaus Schwab. This guy's going to stop the Great Reset right here.
The termites destroy all the nice things he's putting down the landscape and building, so we're there to kill them.
Okay, so let's hit play on Klaus Schwab. Play it, Sean. There, here you go.
Watch what Apple's
And by the way, on Rumble, you have to watch 2 crappy commercials. That's part of the deal. Okay, you get to watch a commercial about end-time prepping or something. Here we go.
Watch how butter affects
Butter could kill you. Look at butter. It's actually good for you. Is it bad for you? Is it good for you? Butter, 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 butter. Okay.
The fourth industrial revolution has become a reality.
I've covered tech almost 25 years. What I saw yesterday in LA, I think it was a game changer. And look, short on details, I get it. But this is the new chapter, the new book for Tesla. As me and you have talked about many times, Fourth Industrial Revolution, the AI revolution led by Godfather of AI, Jensen, NVIDIA. But many others across tech are going to be huge winners. From Apple to Amazon to Uber. And I continue to think Tesla is front and center. Now, it looks scarce on details. We all know Musk is not going to, really go up there and give so many details. This lays the groundwork for what I kind of view as this AI chapter, this really AI future at Tesla.
And I have to say, in my memory, you were one of the most engaged and hardest working participants here at the annual meeting. I watched you in the morning up to midnight sometimes, one engagement after the other one.
Dr. Schwab, I'm flattered you'd ask me to keynote. There's an expression in my old neighborhood back in the United States. This may be above my pay grade. It's not above yours, though. You've written extensively on the topic that you've asked me to speak to, mastering the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
At the same time,
that's Klaus Schwab, okay? That guy, again, hates people, loves bugs. Okay, he's the reverse of that. So what we're going to do is we come back from the break. We're going to work through on page 5. We're going to work through all these boxes, all these questions. And I'm going to start with marketing. And because most people tell me their biggest issue is they say, I cannot generate leads. I can't succeed without the lead. I need sales or I'm going to fail. My business is going to go to hell if I can't sell. And I just need it to work out. So we're going to talk about that. And then we'll kind of work from there. So we're going to take a quick break here. It's 8 o'clock. We're going to come back at 8:15 for our next session here. And we're going to keep bringing up success stories, but feel free to meet them. If you're a VIP, I have unlimited coffee. So you just keep drinking coffee until I sound entertaining. You just keep drinking coffee. We'll come back here at 8:15 for our next session. So 8:15, coming back at 8:15, coming back here. And then Sean plays some background music. We'll come back here at 8:15. For everybody streaming online, we're on Rumble. Click subscribe, and then I'll still be at 265,000 subscribers. It's fun. If you're online, just punch that subscribe button. We'll be back here at 8:15.
That's where you wanna be. That's where you wanna be. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it.
For entrepreneurs, it's a paradise. For employees, it's a change paradigm. For the poor and ignored, it's a change mind. For the explorers, it's a major find. For Tim Tebow, it's goals aligned. For the Eric to the Trump, it's a mastermind. For Robert Kiyosaki, it's game time. For the first time attendees, it's oh my. For the Oklahomies, it's a sweet home of mine. For the real business people, it's so nice. For the people going places, it's a green light. For you and your crew, it's a change vibe. For this rendezvous, you can name your prize. For the VIP, ticks 105 times. For me, it's what I do, it's my vibe. Because the Thrivetime Nation is my tribe.
My tribe. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it. It's time to thrive, what a time to be alive. Breath in my lungs, thank you, Jesus Christ. You got a chance to cause change upon the land. So beat that clock by your diligence. So to you, do you prefer to keep making the wrong turns, or to turn it all around until you take the time to learn? Without vision, the people perish. Without wisdom, you get embarrassed. Or be humble, grow 1,000-fold. Leap a harvest and share it.
Can we kick it? Yes, we can. If you come with business problems, you leave with plans. At the Thrivetime Show, we make wealth expand. We're focused on implementation. We teach marketing and improving your brand. How to build the systems and finance. We teach how to hire people and manage them. How to bring your dreams into reality. Since 05, I've been doing it, cause that's my jam. Helping goal pursuers do it, putting cash in their hands. Now that Eric Trump has joined us, he has joined the band. Kiyosaki's coming too, cause he's in the rhythm. But can he kick it? Yes, he can. Kiyosaki's in the dojo of self-discipline. So get your tickets now at Thrivetime Show. And I'd buy them now while they're still on hand.
Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? The willow's deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got nowhere to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah, I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. 'Cause when you close your heart and you close your mind, that man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta learn.
Okay, we're going to pull down the music and go over some housekeeping notes here. And we'll get started in 7 minutes, but I've got some housekeeping notes I want to make sure that we cover here. For anybody watching online, if you want to download every book that I've ever written, or if you want to avoid this URL to avoid the books that I've ever written, you want to go to thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. And hey, James, can you find Sean? Maybe, I think he's around here somewhere. We want to go to thrivetimeshow.com. We'll put up on the screen there, on the big screen. For anybody watching at home, you'll be able to, hopefully you can see it. It's thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. That's the website, that's the URL. thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. And when you pull that up, you're going to see all of the books that I've ever written. They're all pulled up there. You can download them. I believe there's 41 of those books, but you can download those. And you can download this book specifically that we're talking about here. I know a lot of you are texting in wanting to know how to get this book. You can download it for free. You don't have to buy anything. And right here, it's called How to Build a Successful Business. It's orange covered. You can download it by going to thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. Sean, can you put up on the screen there? thrivetimeshow.com. Sean, can you pull that up there? thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. Oh yeah, pull it up there. And that's where you can, okay. That's where you can download all the books. You scroll down. They're all there for free to download. PDF versions of every single book. You can get them. And if you want to make sure that I make about $2, you can buy any of them on Amazon as well. It's a great way to pay me $2. You just buy the books there. Second housekeeping note, if you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can do so on Spotify. So you go to Spotify, you search for Thrivetime Show. Spotify, Thrivetime Show. And you can find a lot of the songs I write and books, audio books, and you can find all the podcasts. But it's just business. So it's just the business stuff at thrivetimeshow.com on Spotify. That's where you go to find just the business-related shows. Business shows, been doing that for 20 years. And then if you want to learn about what's going on in the world, more of a geopolitical look at things, you can go to rumble.com and then search for Thrivetime Show. And that's where you're going to find news about BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, rolling out their new gold-backed currency. You're going to hear about the fourth industrial revolution. You get a lot of updates about mRNA technology and the shots. You're going to learn about how that connects to cryptocurrency and those kind of things. But if you said that's 100% what I don't want to listen to, I would recommend that you go to Spotify. That's where you can learn those things. Also, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/Tower of Power, thrivetimeshow.com/Tower of Power. Dr. Zellner, who has been a mentor in my life and a partner, he and I have recorded all of the systems we're teaching today in a podcast format many, many years ago. And you can learn how to grow a company and listen to that while you're driving. That's thrivetimeshow.com/Tower of Power. Also, if you want to download systems, processes, checklists, tools, that's thrivetimeshow.com/downloadables. And I believe you're going to find a little over $300,000 of downloadables there. I say 300,000. These are all systems that I had to pay for the creation of. And you can download those all for free at thrivetimeshow.com/downloadables. And so that, again, those are some resources for you. Those are free resources. And then for anybody watching online, and my conferences are the reverse of an upsell. I don't have a looming upsell. I'm not going to try to upsell you. You don't have to buy something in 10 minutes before my head explodes. It's just, I do business consulting. That's what I do. If you want to schedule a consultation, great. If you say I don't, that's fine too. And then we have books, and for anybody who's here, the books are always $25 or whatever price you want to pay. And I do that because I think sometimes people need a hand up, not a handout. And so if you have $5, $2, $6, 7 cents, if you have a penny, you have a quarter, you got a quarter penny combo, 26 cents, anything like that. You have maybe a debit card from the person sitting next to you, a gold watch. You have any kind of tchotchkes. You can buy a book for $25 or whatever price you want to pay. So that's the housekeeping notes there. And I believe we're going to go ahead and get started. And so we're going to go ahead and round up more people here. We're going to round up some more people. We're rounding up some people here. And James, I'm going to put you in charge of rounding up the people. And Andrew, can you also kind of round up humanity? We'll just kind of gather everybody. We'll get started here for session number 2. And for session number 2, I'm going to need Randy Antrikin with PMHOKC.com. I'm going to need Sean McGow with Suncoast Pest Management. I'm going to need Karime and Sophia with WhistleWhileYouClean.com. And I'm going to need Josh Spurl with AlwaysBookkeeping.com. AlwaysBookkeeping.com. And if Pastor Dave Scarlett is in the house, I would like to bring him up as well. If he's here, I believe he's here. I have the feeling, I've been told he's here. I can fit, he's not so much here. Maybe he's here. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so if we can bring up Pastor Dave Scarlett, that'd be great as well. We're going to get started here in just a second here. So again, if you guys can grab your seats, that'd be awesome. And if you're a VIP, you get unlimited caffeination. And if you say, look, I'm not a VIP, but I want unlimited caffeination, and if you really need unlimited caffeination, come see me. We'll make a deal, and then I'll get you unlimited caffeination. But it's a VIP thing. But if you're saying, I'm a general admission, but I really need 4,000 cups of coffee, whatever you need, I want to make sure you have a great experience, so we're here for you. Also, I brought a 9-volt battery. You can lick the bottom of that, and that'll get you going as well. Or I could shove your hand in a door and shut it, and that'll get you going. There's a lot of ways we can wake you up here if we need that. So, and then people ask me, when's Eric Trump speaking? 100% honest with you, I have no idea. I don't know. I know he's going to be here. He and I are good buddies. But with Secret Service and the commute and the motorcade and the media and the police and the threats and all that, I know he will be here. I know we'll keep him safe, but I have no idea at all what time he'll be here. But when he is here, you'll know, because he'll be here and he's a lot taller than me, and I'll introduce him and it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so you don't want to miss out on that. So again, let's all grab a seat. And Andrew, can you kind of help keep doing one more time, just kind of pushing people kind of into the seat action there. We're making it happen. Okay, and for anybody who's out there in the coffee shop, we're going to get started here. Session number 2. We're going to talk about marketing. Sean, what page do we need to go to talk about marketing? What page? Hi, Dave.
One moment. I'll find
This is Pastor Dave with his glory in the house, folks. All right. So I'm gonna bring up a lot of different people. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna meet a lot of people. Okay. So we're going to what page, Sean, for marketing? 235. 235. Okay, we're opening to page 235. Everybody grab your book, open to page 235. Sean, are you over there and you mic'd up?
I'm over here.
Okay, your mic's kind of hot. 235. 235. Is that the right page, Sean? 235. Sean, are you tracking with me?
Are we looking for marketing vehicles?
3-legged marketing stool.
Okay. Let me find it.
Okay.
Three-legged.
Marketing stool. I believe in you. Tell us what page, Sean. Feeling the flow. Okay. Feeling the flow. We're almost there. We're getting started. Here we go.
Finding it. Oh yeah, 123.
123. Is that a question? Is that a statement?
Well, that's what's on the agenda. Create a three-legged marketing stool. Page 123. Circle the marketing vehicles effective for ideal buyers.
Okay, so open your book to page 123 and 122. And I'm going to pass the mic first here to Pastor Dave, then we'll go back and forth. Here we go. Pastor Dave, how many of you have ever listened to His Glory? Who's ever listened to His Glory? All right, there he is. So, Dave, I got to ask you, who is your ideal and likely listener? Who listens to hisglory.me? Who are you trying to reach with the gospel at hisglory.me?
Well, we're trying to reach 1 billion souls. Right now, our primary audience is probably 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, but we're really putting a push on the younger generation because the Joel 2 movement is here, and we see signs and wonders going to be all over the world, and we're going to do a lot in music and a lot with the youth.
Have you ever thought about niching down on just broadcasting to the redhead demographic, Dave?
It's on the plan.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what I want you to do is on page 122, I want you to, right now, page 122, I want you to just circle any of these things that you need to get done when you go home, okay? So step one for marketing, you have to have a website that looks professional. Or how about this? A website that is better than your competition. So I'm going to pull up pmhokc.com, and I'm going to pull up hisglory.me. We'll start with His Glory, then we'll go to PMH. So hisglory.me. Dave, why do you have to have a website? Why can't you just say, man, we're above that. We don't have time for that. Why do you have to have a website?
Well, it is who you are. It's got to be a reflection of what you're doing. The other thing is what we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years before President Trump coming. The censorship. You mentioned about Rumble earlier. We had to. We got taken off every social media, so we had to make our own website, our own servers, so that we could bring our own content out so nobody could disrupt it.
So again, that's hisglory.me. But with your website, your business, you just have to have a website that's better than your competition. You have to have it. Okay. Box number 2 here, or point number 2. You gotta have a logo. Don't over-spiritualize the logo. Don't spend weeks on the logo. Don't spend decades. Who's ever spent like a month with a designer talking about a logo? It's tough. It's like listening to a guy try to interpret Bob Dylan lyrics while high. You ever seen that phenomenon? You go to a college campus or some guy talking in circles about Bob Dylan and the meaning of the lyrics. Your logo, it needs to be what people think of when they think about your brand. It needs to be clear. It needs to be printable. Like a 2-color logo is great, so you can print it on a shirt, but you got to have a logo, okay? Box number 3, you got to have a one sheet, or a one sheet explains what you do different than the competition, or at least you need to be able to articulate it. So I'll go back to Dave one more time, then we'll pass the mic down to Randy, and we'll get thoughts from everybody here. How are you different than Newsmax or Fox or CNN or whatever news outlet? How is hisglory.me different than Newsmax?
Well, first, we don't get paid off. We tell the truth. No matter where the income's coming, it's the truth. And everything we do through a biblical lens, because all 7 mountains have the Most High God in it and our King Jesus Christ. So we show the world, but we also give them a taste of Jesus in everything we do.
But if you weren't clear that you were a unapologetic, gospel-based, Christian-based news outlet show thing, what would happen if you hadn't clarified that in your mind? What would happen if you hadn't clarified that, hey, we're never going to self-censor? What would happen if you hadn't already clarified that?
Well, we get kind of attacks, but we get attacks anyway. So if you're going to get attacked in the name of Christ, he told us that was going to come, didn't he? He said, the world hated me before I hated you, and we'll overcome through him. So as long as we're telling the truth and getting it out there, but putting boldness for Christ, that's what it's all about.
There it is. Now back to page 122. Karime, want to get your thoughts on this, want to get your thoughts here. So here we go. Your website. Your website, you have to have a website that's viable. What market are you in? What city are you guys in?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Are you the only cleaner in Cincinnati, Ohio?
No, the market is thick there.
And when you and your daughter thought, selves, daughter, mom, we should start a business, you knew you were competing against hundreds of competitors there?
Yes.
So, in this case, my team's built your website, but let's talk about it. Why do you have to have a website?
Well, first of all, you got to be able to be found when people Google search you. And we get a lot of leads that way. Just random people from all over the city and even outside the city limits will say, I found you on Google.
Do you remember the first time you had a lead that came in on the internet from someone you don't know?
Yes, actually, it was the first time our business line ever rang, and we thought we were being prank called because nobody had ever found us before.
We gotta market. We gotta market. Randy, PMHOKC.com. You're building pools, hot tubs, pergolas, huge projects for people. How important is it for you to have a website that looks good?
Well, a lot of people search for what we do, and so when you have a website, it ranks you higher in the organic search. We put a lot of articles on there, and then when you're buying a $150,000 project, seeing what you do on the website is very important for vetting who you're going to hire.
So going back here to page 122.3, you have to know what you do versus the competition. So I'm trying to help you think about your life and your business. I'm not trying to get you to think about my life, but I'm trying to give you examples, okay? So I have a haircut chain, Elephant in the Room, EITR Lounge. I started that, we cut hair. It's men's only, which by the way, it's a crazy world out there. When you say men's only, there's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't walk in and what's your name? And they, Pat. Okay, Pat. And then you're like, Pat, what? And over time you figure out Pat's not a dude. And Pat wants you to know, so how many other non-dudes do you have here? Because you're like, what? And all of a sudden it's like some sort of like I'm standing up for the faith somehow because I'm a men's only. It's the weirdest thing. I'm making a political statement by saying it's men's only. It's gonna be like that in the bathroom soon for a lot of places, right? It's like you gotta have you noticed this? People are confused about their gender, I never thought starting a men's only haircut chain would be a divisive idea, but every day, I'm not kidding, every day a person who's not a dude comes in and they go, I'm confused, I don't know if I'm a dude or not, could you check? I mean, it's weird. Awkward. Yeah, I need the TSA. Could you please inspect, tell us what we have here? Okay, so, all right, but you gotta figure out what makes you unique. Also our haircut chain, it's high end. It's a higher end thing. You might say, you have a higher end something? You are a lower end kind of person. Why are you, Captain Kmart, having a high end, hair place? There's a niche I saw, and it's for dudes that want to get their hair cut at the same time every month. Like a country club for men's hair. So it's an up-tempo energy in the place, but it feels like you're going to a country club, and guys like it because it's appointment-based. So we're not a big walk-in guy, if somebody comes in who's a walk-in, that's cool, but that's not our niche. It's more of you can book a time, and it's a membership model, and that's how we do it. And that's what makes us different, right? And then there's other places, I'm sure, like Great Clips, where it's more of a walk-in model, but that's our niche. Make sense? Membership model. Okay, another example, just trying to get you guys thinking about your life and your business that you either have or you want to start, okay? Epic photography. I want you guys to help me, coach me on how I built it, okay? So you're gonna go back in the past and pretend that you learned some of the things we've talked about so far, okay? So Epic Photography, it's epicphotos.com. When I started epicphotography.com, who's ever hired a wedding photographer? This is what they do typically. They say for 4 hours, you get this, you get that, 4 hours. Who's ever had a wedding photographer in your life? 4 hours, gotta have the romance wrapped up here, kids, in 4 hours because the romance stops in 4 hours, right at 10 o'clock, the romance stops, let's go. No pressure, but we gotta be done in 7 minutes. So I said, unlimited photography, unlimited time, unlimited. You book me from the time, 2 hours before the ceremony until the end, unlimited. Josh, why did that work? Why did that work?
I mean, it takes away the anxiety of that purchaser. So at that point, they're not worried, they don't have to build their wedding around their photographer.
And it bothered every photographer in Dallas and Tulsa. The Photographer Association. How many of you know about these associations? Who's part of a homeowners association? You want to move a tree, you got to call Congress, right? So I'm just trying, so they're calling me. Yeah, I'm calling on behalf of the Oklahoma Photographers Association for the betterment of America. I need to speak to the owner. Hi, I want to, what's up? So you guys are offering unlimited photography. It's in a industry standard. We do 4 hours. You have emphysema? You okay there, Darth Vader? So all I'm saying, I'm going, no, it's unlimited time. Well, in order to be a part of the association, you're going to need to have 4 hours. Who knows about associations? I'm going, no, I'm going to do unlimited time. I might do 2 days now, 2 months, who knows? I might just photography for life, okay? So unlimited time. Then every photographer, how many of you noticed they take like months to get the photos back? You ever seen this? You get the photo, you had the wedding like 8 years ago on the, excuse me, did you guys get married 8 years ago? Yeah, we got your photos done. Have you seen that? Who's ever waited, seriously, more than 3 months for your wedding photos? And the photographer's like, well, I'm working on it. I'm developing it in the red room. We're still using the film, and the photos are wet. They're wet. I'm drying them out. So we said we'll get it back to you within 2 weeks. Who's ever had a wedding photographer where they jacked up something? They just jacked it up. The weddings came back blurry, weird. What's going on? So we did money back guarantee. All of these things are mind-rocking concepts. Okay, other things we did, free bridals or engage. You could do free bridals or engagements. Why would we offer people, again, you're not a photographer guy, but Sean, why would you do free bridals or engagements to someone who you haven't worked with yet? Why would you do that?
I learned this from you, actually. If it's not memorable, it's invisible.
There it is. So I'm just trying to create a no-brainer, and you need to write that down on page 3. You have to have a no-brainer. A no-brainer. A no-brainer. A no-brainer is so good. It's the reverse of a Newsom policy. Because no matter how much you think about a Newsom policy, like, I don't quite understand what you're saying, right? Right? It's like, but a no-brainer is just so good, it's obvious. It's like wow. So we went to the bridal shows. Again, who's been to a bridal show before? Okay, when people are on the internet finding stuff, they would find us, they go, Mom, the bride talks to the mom, Mom, these guys do unlimited time, money back guarantee. They also will let me do the bridals or engagements before we even hire them to see if it's a good fit. Why not? Right? And so I'm not kidding. We would get more leads in a day than our competition would get in a month. And no competition can figure this out, this concept we're talking about. You know why? Because what happens when you offer a no-brainer? Now you got to back it up. Now you can't be terrible. Now you can't go, oh, you're in a contract, which means I conned you and you're stuck on a track. Who's ever been in a contract timeshare? If you sell timeshares, no offense to you, but who's ever been in a contract where you're stuck and you're like, I didn't know I had to sell my kidney to get out of this gym membership. You ever had that? Sorry, you want to cancel your gym membership. You got to wait 2 years, pay a $500 cancellation fee, talk to the Pope, get his signature, gonna meet with Congress. They'll be available next Tuesday. Got to cancel in person with lamb's blood. You seen that? So what I'm saying for your business, you would have a no-brainer. We're getting this idea of no-brainer. So let's go talk about no-brainers. Let's go, Sean, no-brainer. What's your no-brainer? What's your no-brainer? Let's see what's hot. What's your no-brainer for pest control?
Yeah, so there's nothing to lose. We offer a same-day service. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we give 60% off their first service.
60% off the first service? And why would you do that? How does that work financially for you if you do it the first time for 60% off? How does it work for you?
We're working on repeat business. We want recurring business, and that's if we know for a fact if we get them in and we show our experience that it's different, and they're going to want to continue and they're going to refer business out.
Does that make sense? We're on the same page? So back to my haircut chain. Our average member, by the way, our first haircut is $1. So you know what we get a lot? I get a lot of this. I hate it. I wish I didn't. But a lot of people going, bro, my name's Carl. And you're like, Carl, we definitely cut your hair last month. No, I'm not Carl. That's my twin brother. People do this all the time. I'm not kidding. I'm not making it up. This is a real story. They do this stuff. That's my brother, Thomas, because anyway, so it's me, not him. Anyway, can I get my hair cut? And people will change their name. They'll drive to our different stores. They'll lie about it. We get deal with about one a day. So it's kind of fun when like the transgender meets the guy who's changing his name to get a free haircut. Anyway, but the no-brainer, you do take a little bit of punishment for the no-brainer, but on average, someone becomes a member and they stay with us for years and years and years. Does that make sense? Or with the business consulting that I do. My average client is with me for 6 or 7 years, So Dave, your show's free. Your first show's free. You go to hisglory.me, it's free. Your first show's free. Dave, why don't you hide all your content behind a payment wall? Dave?
Because we wanted to get it out there, and it helps our, advertisers as well. We want people to see it. You got to be able to get into the 7 mountains. You want people to see it.
Now, you do have some ultra premium options if people want to become a partner. If someone says, I'm all in, I want to support His Glory, how does that work?
Well, we have different levels of kingdom giving. We have kingdom economy for businesses. We're going to really put a push on that right there. You see it on the screen in 2026 to take our money away from the Amazons of the world and put it into a kingdom economy, meaning every dollar we spend is going to patriot and Christian organizations so that we're not giving our money away to people who want to kill us.
Karime, what's your no-brainer down there? What's your no-brainer with the home cleaning business?
So our no-brainer is your first clean is $1, and that has actually gotten us some of our biggest clients.
So just making sure we're getting this. I'm obsessing on this because if you don't have a no-brainer, it's a weird look for you. It's a weird look, okay? I'm gonna tell you a story. It's a funny story. It's about a guy who tried to do what Randy was doing in Texas, but he's not Randy, and Randy's diligent. This guy was a disaster. He came to one of my conferences, and he's like, hey, I want you to help me grow my business. So I do I call it a 13-point assessment. I do a free assessment with the guy. And we're going through this, and I'm like, what's your offer? What's your no-brainer? He says, I don't want people wasting my time. So it's $300 to meet with me about potentially hiring me to do a pool for you. I'm like, wait, let me try again. So if I want to hire you, potentially, if I'm thinking about hiring you, I've got to hire you. He goes, what? I mean, if I'm thinking about hiring you to put in my pool, I have to pay you $300 just to meet with you. And he goes, exactly, because I don't have time for tire kickers. And I go, this guy has no money, no success. He's getting right at that near 50, where you're 50. We get to a certain age, I'm almost there where you no longer care. It's unfiltered, you're just unhinged. Mom, you can't say that. We say it now because we're over 45, right? You just say it. So this guy's kind of unhinged. He's like, I'm not changing, but I want you to help me grow my company. I said, even if we never speak again, you got to do a free consultation. You just have to. I don't hate you enough to tell you this is a good idea to charge people $350. He's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to waste my time on I'm not going to waste my time on tire kickers. I go, how many people do you meet with a week? Well, sometimes I don't meet with anybody. Well, it's just jackassery. And how many of you have ever hired a terrible contractor? Who's ever hired one? You ever hired one? We hired a guy to do some plumbing for my mother-in-law's house, and he basically got started, got high, and then disappeared. True story. My mother-in-law's like, I think he got high or something, and he disappeared. I don't know what happened. And he just kind of left his tools there, and I guess when you're high on the job and your customer discovers you're high, the move is just to leave your stuff and not come back. And then go get a free haircut. I don't know. So, Randy, what's going on with contractors? Tell us, what's your no-brainer? How is it different from most contractors? Kind of walk us through how your no-brainer versus a lot of these contractors.
Well, we do free estimates, and then we also have a catalog. So when we meet with them, we give them our free catalog. And then when we do 3D renderings, we present that in virtual reality. So they put the Oculus on, and it's kind of like augmented reality, but you're in a video game, and you're in your project. And that has really...
Do people ever say, wow?
Yeah, everybody loves it. And what you were saying with the contractors not showing up, it's the same even for us when we hire guys. It is just across the board really bad right now. And that's what makes it harder for all of us. And that's why being highly ranked on Google, the most reviews, all of that really matters.
We're going to help everybody here have success. Let's make sure you're dialing in. There's no bad students. There's just a bad teacher. He's pale. He looks like me. It's me. Okay, so there's no bad students. Okay, so always bookkeeping. What's your website again?
Yeah, alwaysbookkeeping.com, if you pull that up there. So our no-brainer is we meet with the clients and we'll give them our free top 10 U.S. tax tips. Then we're going to help them with the free U.S. benchmarking, because people don't often know the margins in their industry. So they don't know what their competitors, what their top competitors, what they sell, what the gross margin is, what the overhead costs are. And they have the tendency to think that, you don't understand my business. But the reality is actually we understand all of them, because the IRS publishes all of these tax returns. So we can tell you exactly what it is without any guess. And then you're actually developing your financial planning around that, developing your pricing around that. And then we do a free net worth growth analysis, because ultimately the goal is to take the fake government money and convert it to real assets.
I want to brag on this guy for a second. This is a true story. First time I met you was probably, 7 years ago-ish? And this guy, he's from Canada, coming to the workshop. His plane gets canceled in Minneapolis. So Victoria, who worked for me, she's like, hey, the guy from Canada, his plane got canceled. We have people from Guam that come to conferences and from Mexico. All over the place. Usually there's a few people, internationals. And she says his plane is canceled, but he's driving. And I'm going, yeah. You know, we drove from Tulsa to Anaheim in 21 hours. We did that on Monday. We left Monday at 5, got here. You know, and so the kind of guy who's gonna drive from Canada to Oklahoma to attend the workshop, you know, from Minnesota to Canada, that kind of guy will be successful. And I'll tell you why. Because his yes is his yes and his no is no. He's like, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be there. So anytime I've ever referred people to you, it's gone well, but most people don't want to talk to a CPA or an accountant or a bookkeeping service because they have a bad previous experience with somebody. By show of hands, anybody here ever had a bad experience with a CPA or a bookkeeper? It's awesome, isn't it? Awesome. So again, I have a no-brainer. Your no-brainer again is, what's your no-brainer one more time, Sean?
It's a same-day service, free and inspection, and then 60% off the first service.
All right, so we're moving on to step 4 on the marketing page, okay? You want to create marketing materials that are better than your competition. Now, Dave, with his glory, I want to brag on Dave. He's got a praise and worship brand they're developing. Dave, you've got a music channel you're developing. You've got, multiple shows, live shows you're doing, different content. The War Room, people love the War Room. People love your prophetic updates with Julie Green. There's a lot of content there. When you think about your show, what is it what do you hear from people that found hisglory.me for the first time? Like, what kind of feedback do you hear from people that say, you know, I just started listening, and what do you hear?
I hear it's spiritual. Like the Lord led them from one person to another somehow, some way, through the Holy Spirit that got to us. And that's everything we do. How we come up with the content is pray. We pray it through. The Lord guides us in every step.
And the production quality gets better and better and better and better and better because they want to, have a product that people like to watch, right? So no matter what you are, if you're here today, you have a business, you got to make sure that all your print materials, all your marketing materials, everything you do is first class. We move on to the next step. Step number 5, you got to have a marketing video. Turns out people want to watch a marketing video. So Randy, can I play your marketing video? Is that cool?
Yeah, it's on the homepage.
So let's go to PMHOKC.com. This is what a marketing video looks like. If you're here today, you need to have a marketing video for your company. It's like a 60-second overview of what you do. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Randy Antrigan, and I'm the owner of Perfect My Home. Our mission statement here is to help your family create backyard memories, so we offer a wide range of services from pools, pergolas, kitchens, fireplaces, hot tubs, pavilions, really anything in your backyard. We would love to speak with you. So the process with working with Perfect My Home is pretty simple. It all starts with an initial sales consultation. We'll come out and meet with you, take some measurements, some photos, discuss your ideas. We'll get you an estimate within 48 hours. Once you decide to move forward, we'll get some selections done.
So how many of you read books? My books, when I met Robert Kiyosaki the first time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy, he's looking at my copy of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's like, it's almost unethical what I've done to it. I take notes. Who does that? You take notes, you got the tabs, so when you're at this workshop, if you come home from this workshop and you don't have circled action items, I'm a bad teacher. So you want to just circle all the stuff that you need to do, okay? So don't get overwhelmed by the profundity of all the stuff you have to do, but go, okay, I need to do that, okay? Gotta have an about us video. Gotta have an about us video. Gotta have an about us video. Number 6, you gotta have signage that wows. How many of you are familiar with this little startup called In-N-Out Burger? In-N-Out Burger? Okay. In-N-Out Burger. Who's not been to In-N-Out Burger? I would argue it's almost worth the taxes in California, In-N-Out Burger. But In-N-Out Burger, a great place, right? But they have a niche, and when you see, how many of you drive by and you see that sign and you think to yourself, I should go get an In-N-Out Burger. No matter what diet plan you're on, no matter how focused and locked in, you've been fasting for 39 consecutive days so you can be like Jesus, and you're going, In-N-Out Burger. Sorry, gotta go do it. How many of you just In-N-Out, the draw? You see the sign, you're hungry. Who's like that? You see the sign? Okay, so you want to have a sign that draws people's attention. And a lot of times people have signs that you would find at the DMV. Who's been to the DMV? A great place. DMV, it's awesome. They have a little handwritten sign with a marker. It's usually written on cardboard. It's a big strategy used by the homeless community. For anybody out there that wants to become homeless, there's 4 pro tips you have to do if you want to be successful as a homeless guy. 1, you need cardboard. Who knows this? No matter what's going on, you need some dry cardboard. You got to store that stuff, be available. You want a Sharpie. Who knows that? You want a Sharpie, a good solid one you can sniff if you're getting low donations, but one that you can, who knows that, right? Okay, you got to get the cardboard, the Sharpie, right? Then you want to have a no-brainer. So you got to have like a story that's kind of sad. Like, you know, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe like a puppy. You have like a puppy, and a little thin puppy with you, you know, by the beach. And
an oxygen tank.
Yeah, get an oxygen tank, whatever you need to do. If you had a puppy and an oxygen tank, maybe you're giving your puppy oxygen, you're going to get more. And then you want a blue tarp and a shopping cart. You want to be able to get the shopping cart and push it to anywhere. No one asks, how did this guy get the shopping cart into to the beach? I mean, he had to have driven somewhere to get in. Anyway, I'm saying even the homeless community has figured out the no-brainer. So I'm asking you right now, what is your no? If you want to make 6 figures a year, how many of you know? Just be homeless. You do it. It's a good move. Get a little dirt on your face. Get out there. It's beautiful. Put your pride aside. You'll make the money. Okay. Got to have a no-brainer. Got to have a no-brainer. Okay. Next is you got to create a signage. Even the homeless communities figure that out. Box number 7. Got to make sure everything that your customers experience is first class and memorable. All right. It's got to be memorable. So I'm going to go back to Sophia because you were born yesterday. How old are you, Sophia?
15.
Amen. Okay. So when people call you, do you guys call them back?
Absolutely.
Holy moly. Who's ever called a business and they won't call you back? I have that conversation with my staff every day. Hey guys, when someone calls, we're gonna call them back. And the great members of my team go, that's what we did. That's what we did. And the other members of the team are going, that's weird. Did you want me to call them back? Because I was getting Chipotle and now I'm back. And the calls that I missed while I was at Chipotle, should I call those back too? And I go, no, don't call the people back that called while you were gone. Those are the ones we don't call back. What? Have you seen this? How many of you have called a business and you can't get a call back? I did mystery shopping for Randy in McKinney, Texas. I called every pergola and pool installer in McKinney, Texas, which by the way, is one of the fastest growing communities north of Dallas. And I did not get a call back from a single competitor. Not one, not an email, not a call. And I called all of them. Why is that?
Well, we do the same thing in OKC and Tulsa. We secret shop our pool competitors. And you'd be surprised, almost nobody answers the phone, and then once they do schedule an appointment, they never show up.
And the people that answered the phone, it was like this. Hello? And I'm going, yeah, I'm just calling to get a quote for a pergola. Well, I'll tell you what, right now we're in the process of, get off the shed, get off the shed. Anyway, so we're in the process of, get up. You know, is he yelling at someone who's on a shed? What is happening? Sorry, someone is like, and you're like, this guy's on top of a roof. Guys, put the truck over there. Boop, boop, boop. Hello? Yeah, so what was that? What was your name? Clay. Boop, boop. Have you seen this? You're calling a guy who's like in a real act. He's installing a pool. Have you seen this? What's going on with that strategy? Who came up with that plan? just why? Sir, don't die. Just whoever needs to get off the shed, get him off the shed. What is happening? Okay, so I'm just saying is you got to create an experience, okay, which is what's called a workflow, which is right over here. Okay, you see the whiteboard, okay, which parallels in your book, page 5. You got to create a workflow, okay? So the workflow. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a second, go to page 5, okay? Page 5, and I want you to circle any part of your workflow that is wrong or not working or that doesn't exist, okay? So box number 1, you gotta know your revenue goals. Josh, why do you gotta know your revenue goals? Why do you I know you do accounting, bookkeeping, but why do entrepreneurs have to know their revenue goals?
If you don't have any revenue goals, you have very little chance of profit. So you got to establish what those revenue goals based on realistic numbers. So knowing what other companies do in your industry and knowing what your individual goals are, and then we can set those revenue goals.
Make sense? We're on the same page? But I think a lot of people detach themselves from the revenue goals. So I was building my DJ company. We were making about $175 per event. And we did 4,000 events. But I knew that. So if I wanted to make $1,000 a week, how many events did I have to do per week? California public schools are not necessarily the best, but 8, right? 8. We on the same page? 8, 7, 8, right? Ish, right? So you do, if I did 10 events times 185, that's what? We're on the same page? Okay, so we're doing the math here. Okay, so I want to make sure, you got to do the math, okay? And so I just knew, I remember when my dad called me, my dad, may he rest in peace, he called me up, he said, son, you're getting married, you're 20 years old, you got the DJ business, what do you got, how does the math work? And I said, well, if I do 8 events a week, I'll make about $1,000, you know? And if I do 16, I'll make 2,000. If I do 24, I'm making 3. If I do 32, I'm making 4. If I'm doing 40, I'm making 5. If we're doing public schools, you know, the idea, right? So you got to do the math. We got to figure out, okay, what are your numbers? You got to figure out your numbers. Like how many, okay, what are your revenue goals? So specifically right here, write it down somewhere on page 5. What are your revenue goals, your annual goals? Okay. And what are your weekly goals? You got to break them into weekly goals. Weekly goals. Yes, sir.
I want to give
Do it. Go off.
I want to give an example on this. So revenue goals, our goal for the year is 15 million. That's about what we do in revenue. So if our goal is 15 million, then that means we need to bring in around 300,000 a week. Our average ticket price is about $58,000. So that means I need to sell 5 to 6 appointments per week. Now we have a 30% close ratio, so if I need to sell 5 to 6 a week, then that means I need to go on 15 to 18 appointments per week.
There's one guy who came to our conference years ago who was very successful, and he said, Clay, I could go to, and I don't want to make up the number, Sean, you can look it up, type in Thrivetime Show MBA, but he pulled me aside and he said, I could go to, he gave me a number, it was like 2,425 of your events for what I paid for my MBA, where I didn't learn anything. There was 3,703 workshops. And this is a super wealthy guy, and he was like, I don't know what I did at college, but I spent $200,000 doing it, and I didn't learn any of it. So a lot of times we get detached from the value proposition through college, through I don't know, but we need to really have a myopic, monolithic focus on the unit economics. How much money do you make per transaction? Are we on the same page? Everybody got that? Okay, so box number 2, break-even numbers. That's how much you have to sell just to break even. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you guys, if you wanted to come up with a fantastic way to lose a lot of money, do the Reawaken tour. It's a who was at the Reawaken tour? Did you go to it? Okay, so my wife, who's smart, kind, hopefully she's watching online, my wife says to me, honey, at our current pace, we're gonna lose millions. You know, like that Austin Powers, millions, you know, but she didn't say it like that. It was more of like, we're gonna lose millions, you know, or just, it was like, we're gonna lose millions. That was probably how it was. We're gonna lose millions. Oh no, you know, it's like, she doesn't talk like that, but it's, we're gonna lose millions. We're gonna lose so many millions. Or some way she said it that was feminine in nature, but confident and great, okay? But and I remember going, if we don't save our country, we're gonna lose our lives, you know, but it's like, no, you can't, but it is like, I don't know that we've done it. I don't know. Thank you for clapping. I don't know what happened. We can talk about it later. Phil can interpret. He does Revelation sermons. He talks about it. We'll see. But I just was like, really, I'm doing the math and I'm going, you can't, because when you let people come to a conference and you let them name their price and they get Jim Brewer and Roseanne and Eric Trump and all that, there's a lot of security. By the way, when Eric gets here, there'll be security everywhere. There'll be dogs sniffing you. We're going to bring in a SWAT team. A guy's going to rappel down from the ceiling. There'll be a chopper inside the auditorium saying, get in the chopper. It's going to be wild. God bless any of you who try to do something stupid when Eric's here. It's just you'll get shot 45 times in the first 10 seconds. What was that? That was once a human. It's gonna be wild. So I'm just saying, it's expensive. Who's ever put on an event before? It's expensive, not cheap. It's so much money, so expensive. So a lot of money. And so I'm telling you this because that was not a financially viable option. Are we on the same page? I love you guys so much to tell you, sometimes what we want to do is not financially viable. But because I was a saver in my 20s and 30s and 40s, I could pull it off. Make sense? Okay? All right. So we're moving on to box number 3. Define how many hours per week you're willing to work. We talked about it, but we don't talk about it enough. Back to Karime. Karime, how many hours a week are you willing to work right now, you and your daughter, building your company, whistle while you clean?
We're willing to do whatever it takes. And so over the summer, it was not unusual for us to have like 60 to 80 hour work weeks. We homeschool for a reason so that our kids can do school when we're not doing the business and vice versa. And so we're willing to do whatever it takes. We love it.
Dave, I'm going to ask you this. Jesus, a controversial figure, came to divide us. What? He came to bring, not to bring peace, but a sword. Who knows about that? Okay. Jesus, sort of a big deal. The Son of God, right? On earth, right? Okay, Jesus, kind of a big deal. A lot of his ministry was confined to what, like a 3-year window of time? I mean, talk about the urgency, because Jesus told a guy, tell me, maybe you guys know the story. There's a guy who said, Jesus, I can't follow you. Someone in my family just died. And Jesus is like, well, I hate to tell you, Carl, but let the dead bury their dead. You're not going to that funeral. You're coming with me. I mean, there's an urgency to it. Talk about the urgency of his glory and the urgency of the ministry of Jesus.
Yeah, there is an urgency. We're in a time frame right now that it's going to be the great and terrible day of the Lord. It's going to be terrible for those who had injustice. God is going to make justice come down. But it's a wonderful time for those who are a part of this billion soul harvest, because we are going to get an opportunity that nobody, even through the Bible, had an opportunity to go through like we're going to go through. And he's looking for people that are saying, here I am, use me. And we got to be that willing vessel. And as they said, whatever it takes to get it done for his name's sake.
So you go on to box number 4, okay? You have to define your unique value proposition. We talked about it, but it helps sometimes just to circle. If you go, I don't know what I'm going to do uniquely to compete in the marketplace. There's got to be something that you do uniquely in the marketplace. What is the thing that you do? And I'm not a fan of like recent Bill Belichick, but if we go back to like the Patriots, Bill Belichick, if that's a thing we could do mentally, I don't know if we can do that, but we could just go back to that time pre-COVID. There we are. There it is. Okay, so Bill Belichick, he started out working for $25 a week for the Baltimore Colts. So look it up, Sean. Baltimore Colts. So Bill Belichick, he wasn't a good athlete, and nobody wanted him to coach. So he sent out letters to all the NFL teams saying, I'm willing to work for cheap. And the Baltimore Colts called him and said, yeah, we got your resume, and we're not impressed, and so no. And he's going, come on, I'll live at the stadium. I'll just wear the Colts gear. You don't even have to pay me. And they're like, well, we have to pay you something. So they paid him $25 in 1971, or 1975. So the price of gold in 1971 was $40 an ounce, and today it's how much an ounce?
4,400.
It's like, yeah, $4,400 an ounce-ish. So we're talking, this is, in today's money, this is still not a great deal. But why is that a move sometimes? When you started your bookkeeping practice, before that, you were doing painting, and you told me this insane story that you were in Canada, painting the exterior of a building in the winter.
Yes.
Could you share, why were you doing that job?
A friend of mine, we had got laid off from a job. They wanted to transfer us across the city, so we didn't want to move. So we started a contracting company when I was like 17, and I was like the only one who picked up my phone, apparently, whenever there was contracts to do, and people would ask me, do you want to do this? And I would just always say yes, even if I had no idea actually how to do it, and then I would try to figure out how to do it after. And then one of the general contractors in town came to me and said, can you paint this building? This new tech company was coming in and they wanted the building painted. And of course, like any, I think I was 19 at the time, I said, sure, I can do that. And then I had to figure out how to erect the scaffolding and, bring in the heaters and hire the guys. And apparently they were taking, across the street, they were taking bets to see if I could actually finish this project or if I would kill someone in the process. But we got her done, so.
Now, one thing I'm just trying to help somebody get unlocked on box number 4 here on page 5. You're going, what's my unique value proposition? The reason why I do the first haircut at Elephant in the Room for $1 is it's so cheap, you couldn't at least, there's no reason to not at least try it. It's $1. That's the idea. And what I get from entrepreneurs a lot is they'll say, I don't want to be cheap. And I'll say, well, bankruptcy is a great way to be cheap. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, so you have to figure out what is it that you're going to do that's going to stand out in the marketplace. And this goes if you're trying to find a job, I have so many examples of this, but we have one guy who worked on our team for years and years. He came to me and said, hey, I work for one of your clients and I would like to work for free. And I'm going, when you say free, how does that work? He's like, I'll just come work for free whenever I could if I'd be consistently every day after work. And I thought, well, and so sometimes you give someone a look that maybe you wouldn't if they said they're willing to work for free. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying you want to work for free, but maybe beating your competitor's price, that's a move, okay? Second thing you could do is you say money back guarantee. That's a no-brainer that works. Money back. That's a dangerous one. But it is one, okay? You could say, we'll beat any competitor's price. That's a move you could do. You could do a free consultation. You could do $1 for your first whatever, but you got to have a no-brainer of some kind. Now, box number 5 on the branding thing. Now, Sean, what page do we need to go back to? Is it 122, page 122 for marketing? Page 122?
Yes.
Okay, it's page 122. So what we're going to do is you got to go to page 122. After you've done all the items on page 122, now you have to go market. And market is where you get in front of your ideal and likely buyers. Who here is from the great state of California? Okay, and I'm not saying this to harass or to heckle. I just wanted to do a little survey. See where we're at in this room here. You know, from California. How many of you eat organic? Show of hands. Okay, my wife was trying to sell me on this vision. Turns out she was right, you know, but for a long time she was selling me, and I'm like, no, I want to eat plastic. I mean, any kind of polymer, I'll just eat it. No big deal. I like bioengineer. That's cool. I mean, synthetic meat, that sounds great. I mean, woo, yeah, you know. Now I'm like, oh, wow, that's what that was, you know, but okay. That's why I look the way I look. Okay, but all I'm saying is you gotta like kind of know your audience. And when they rolled out the first Whole Foods in Oklahoma, we didn't know what to do. We're like, why are these chips $8? Because they should be like 80 cents. You know, and it had the word organic on it, and we're going, well, I don't know, it doesn't seem right to me. I'll probably just, you guys got any synthetic made bioengineered chips? Because they're cheaper, you know? How many of you, who's been to Whole Foods? You got like, it's what, $1? It's like $2.25 for a root beer with stevia. Is that a real thing? What's that brand called? What's it called? Tim Tebow drinks that. I know because on his rider, when he speaks at our events, I'm only allowed to serve him this particular kind of root beer. It's the stevia kind. Have you seen this stuff? Zevia, that's what it is. Zevia, it's like $3 for a can of this stuff. In Oklahoma, we're going, well, I'd rather die. I'd just rather put me down right now. You just take out a gun. I know you got one because you're from Oklahoma. Just put me down. Come on. You know, in Oklahoma, your dog's not doing well. Well, Randy, let's put it down. Well, save money on the vet, you know, cool. California, people are like, we could get it surgery, and it's my love language, and it's my animal. I've connected to it. It's my friend. It's closer than my daughter. My daughter, I don't even talk to her, but my dog, I whisper to my dog, and we cuddle. My dog, it's my third child. It's my dog. I call it my animal baby. My baby animal. Oklahoma, well, it looks like it's barking at you. We're going to put it down. You know, so who knows what? So you try to sell some of that organic life coaching dog thing in Oklahoma, people aren't going to do it. They're just going to go, well, I put it down. You know, here, you put a dog down, people call the police, people call, oh my God. I mean, even just saying the words that are true in California might get you arrested. This guy was saying the truth. Arrest him. He's nuts. He causes me anxiety. Ah. Have you seen that? So you have to know who are your ideal and likely buyers. Are we on the same page? So I need you to write down somewhere on this page, 123, who are your ideal and likely buyers. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. But marketing is where you're getting in front of your ideal and likely buyers. So if you want to sell some stuff, do a gun show in Oklahoma, people will buy it. You just, gun show, you're making millions in Oklahoma. I don't know how the gun show does here. I don't know, maybe, who knows? But I'm just saying, you know, you put up a Trump flag, you're gonna sell out in Oklahoma in like 5 minutes. All 77 counties voted for Trump. You know, so I'm just saying, you know, you want to make a lot of money here, though, you start selling some masks in front of Whole Foods, you sell out, people are still wearing that thing. You seen that? People hiding from each other still? What's going on? They're chanting, bring back the mask, bring back the mask. So you got to figure out who are your ideal and likely buyers. Okay, we're going to come back here in 15 minutes to talk about getting in front of your ideal and likely buyers. You guys are the best. We'll be back here in 15 minutes. And with all sincerity, don't put your dog down with a bullet. That's just a pro tip for anybody watching out there. Don't put it down. We'll be back here at 9:15. Back here at 9:15.
Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be.
That's where you wanna be. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you've got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it. For entrepreneurs, it's a paradise. For employees, it's a change paradigm. For the poor and ignored, it's a change mind. For the explorers, it's a major find. For Tim Tebow, it's goals aligned. For the average with the Trump, it's a mastermind. For Robert Kiyosaki, it's game time. For the first time attendees, it's oh my. For the Oklahomies, it's a sweet home of mine. For the real business people, it's so nice. For the people going places, it's a green light. For you and your crew, it's a change night. For this rendezvous, you can name your prize. For the VIP, ticks 105 times. For me, it's what I do, it's my vibe. Because the Thrivetime Nation is my tribe. My tribe. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you've got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it. It's time to thrive, what a time to be alive. Breath in my lungs, thank you, Jesus Christ. You got a chance to cause change upon the land. So beat that clock by your diligence. So to you, do you prefer to keep making the wrong turns, or to turn it all around after you take the time to learn? Without vision, the people perish. Without wisdom, you get embarrassed. Or be humble, grow 1,000-fold. Leap a harvest and share it. Can we kick it? Yes, we can. If you come with business problems, you leave with plans. At the Thrivetime Show, we make wealth expand. And we're focused on implementation. We teach marketing and improving your brand. How to build the systems and finance. We teach how to hire people and manage them. How to bring your dreams into reality. Since 05, I've been doing it, cause that's my jam. Helping goal pursuers do it, putting cash in their hands. Now that Eric Trump has joined us, he has joined the band. Kiyosaki's coming too, cause he's in the rhythm. But can he kick it? Yes, he can. Kiyosaki's in the dojo of self-discipline. So get your tickets now at Thrivetime Show. And I'd buy them now while they're still on hand. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you've got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Yeah. Business growth is what you wanna see. What you wanna see. Thrivetime Show, that's where you wanna be. Where you wanna be, yeah. If you've got the big goals to achieve, you got to achieve it.